And cruise ships are sailing again in Hawaii, but COVID-19 continues to cause delays and disruptions for travelers.
Yeah, KITV4's Melissa McDonald reports more people are protecting their investments today with travel insurance.
Well, not everyone is ready to pack their bags during the pandemic, especially with the sudden emergence of COVID variants like Omicron. But for those who are, travel insurance has become almost as important as rolling luggage.
Pre-pandemic, travel insurance wasn't necessarily a big thing. There were 100 million international travel trips taken by U.S. residents a year, and less than 5% of them actually had travel medical insurance. And now we're looking at upwards of 21 to 28%.
Omar Kaiwan is the co-founder of Goose Insurance, which just started offering COVID-19 protection policies.
People who are taking cruises, this is a great option, especially if you're going to international destinations. This is a great option to protect yourself.
Thinking back to the early pandemic days when cruise ships were being turned away at ports and passengers were being held captive for months, Kaiwan says those days are in the past.
So there's a lot of negative stigma attached to cruise lines because of COVID-19, and they have been impacted dramatically. So the fact that after 24 months, we're getting back into operations with clear standards that have been provided to them by the federal government in terms of health and safety checks, everybody being fully vaccinated, it is a good sign.
And having insurance means being covered even if COVID-19 travels with you.
COVID-19 insurance covers them for any medical emergencies that may arise from COVID-19 specifically. It also has trip cancellation, trip interruption, so benefits relating to COVID-19.
Kaiwan says it can even cover your trip back home, but you have to ask to be sure.
Every single insurance policy is different. Every single person is different, and where they're traveling to and their needs are different. So we highly recommend for people to contact the agency that they're purchasing from, ask to speak to a licensed agent.
Well, the hope is you won't need it. But if you do need to make a claim, it's important to keep your policy with you.
Once you have your policy, if you need to make a claim, the nice thing about Goose is that it's an app. It travels with you. Your policy information is there, map of local hospitals.
And while you can't put a price on peace of mind, you can make a plan to keep moving forward.
Travel insurance is considered to be a little bit too expensive, or that's at least the understanding. That's not the case. If you're traveling domestically within the United States, you're looking at about $30 to $40 per trip.
Melissa McDonald, KITV4 Island News.
Well, on Oahu, a 30-year-old man is in serious condition tonight, caught in a two-vehicle car crash in the Makali-Mo'iliili area. Honolulu Emergency Medical Services reports this happened around 3:15 this afternoon near the intersection of South King and Citron Street. A viewer captured this picture showing what looks like the back end of a green Kia completely smashed in. The car crash caused some backup, but the scene has since been cleared.
A Big Island court judge today denied reducing bail for a man accused of sexually assaulting a family member. 36-year-old Brandon Benz Mars was also charged with kidnapping, burglary, and abuse of a household member. Court documents filed today show he broke into a home in the Mountain View area and allegedly restrained and assaulted a woman on January 9th. Benz Mars is being held on $120,000 bail. He's scheduled to be back in court on Friday. If convicted, he faces up to 20 years in prison.
New tonight, Honolulu police are searching for two men accused of breaking into a shop in Kalihi last month. They released this surveillance video capturing them on December 27th around 1:20 in the afternoon. Both are accused of stealing items from a shop on Hart Street. They both drove off in a white Mercedes with an alleged stolen Hawaii license plate SJT 838. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 955-8300. The president's speech on voting rights facing some heat.
After the break, why one of the country's most prominent lawmakers is calling it unpresidential.
You're watching KITV4 Island News.
President Joe Biden's speech yesterday on voting rights took a hit today on Capitol Hill, with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell calling it unpresidential. John Lawrence has a story from Washington, D.C.
A president shouting that 52 senators and millions of Americans are racist unless he gets whatever he wants is proving exactly why the framers built the Senate, to check his power.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell blasting President Biden's speech, in which the president pushed for the Senate to change its filibuster rules so voting and elections legislation can be passed. McConnell called it a rant that was incoherent and beneath his office.
The smallest majority we've ever seen in our politics is trying to change the rules for how people get elected in every single state. That's just about the best argument for the filibuster you could possibly imagine.
Despite McConnell's pushback, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced in a memo to Senate Democrats Wednesday that he's taking the next steps to change the Senate's rules on the filibuster and that they will be taking up 2 voting rights bills in the coming days.
We will have votes on the bills, the final passage of the bills, and any rules change we need to get the 50 votes on MLK Day or right before that.
John Lawrence, KITV4 Island News.
President Biden's popularity has taken a slight dip over the past few weeks. According to a CNN national poll, his approval rating is now at 42%. That's down 3% from last month.
Well, prices for everything are rising at the fastest pace in decades. The U.S. Consumer Price Inflation Index rose 7% over the past year. That's the steepest climb in prices since June of 1982. Housing, gas, and used vehicle prices were the biggest contributors, that is, to price hikes. The White House addressed the country's growing concern.
We are not sitting on our hands idly by, hoping that these forecasts are right. We're doing everything we can to ensure that's the outcome.
The Biden administration says it's optimistic that inflation will come down in the second half of the year.
The CDC today reported drug overdose deaths have reached a new record high. More than 101,000 people died of an overdose in the U.S. last year. That's a 21% increase from the previous year. 2/3 of those deaths were caused by synthetic opioids. All but 5 states saw an increase year over year. Both University of Hawaii basketball teams are coming off huge victories to start conference play.
Coming up in sports, we'll hear from both teams on how nice it was to start off conference with a win after COVID-19 forced 2-week shutdowns for both. We'll be right back.
You're watching KITV4 Island News.
Welcome back, Hawaii. I'm Keith DeMolder. Like we've mentioned, the 2021 Sony Open is back at the Wailea Country Club this week as some celebs teed off this very morning. Today at the Pro-Am, none other than Marky Mark, the controversial actor and former rapper Mark Wahlberg. Joining in on the action, he was playing with Century Tournament of Champions winner Cameron Smith today, and Russell Henley, also competing with some famous actors, most notably Jensen Ackles from Supernatural. But the real action, well, that starts tomorrow, bright and early, 7:10 in the morning. Smith teeing off at 12:50 in the afternoon with defending champion Kevin Na and current FedEx points leader Taylor Gooch. Now, world #1 amateur Keita Nakajima will also be playing. Masters champion Hideki Matsuyama and Marino's own Peter Jung will also be competing, but a majority of the top players in the world will sit this one out, including Bryson DeChambeau, Colin Morikawa, and Jon Rahm. Either way, event organizers expecting tons of folks to come out and enjoy an exciting week of golf.
I think the energy from the sponsors, the spectators, the volunteers willing to come out, even though the numbers were high the last few weeks, I think it's just an indication that people feel like they're vaccinated and they feel comfortable being able to come out to a televised sporting event.
First round action starts tomorrow. I will be there with live coverage, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, the University of Hawaii men's basketball team is back at home tomorrow night for the first time in nearly a month after COVID-19 cancellations took out their would-be home opener against UC Riverside and Davis. The 2-week break has been tough on the team, but they pulled through on Saturday night on the road at Long Beach State with a 72-67 conference opening win. And the Bows agree, overcoming COVID adversity has now become their identity.
Having to go through last year with COVID and then possibly having to go through it again, it was kind of, sketchy, but knowing that we could have played eventually again as a team, it was pretty exciting, and getting away with the win. I think starting off with a win will take the momentum into the next game for sure.
I think that's been the one consistency we've said in a year of inconsistency, is a lot out of our control, is that this group is pretty connected. It's incredible what these guys have been through and how they've stuck together. And that's really all you can ask of them. They're giving great effort, have the faith that the best is yet to come, and keep working through it.
Meanwhile, the Wahine will be on the road at UC San Diego, and they've also been dealing with COVID protocols, having their conference opener shut down. Plus, they had to play last Saturday's home game with just 8 non-COVID healthy players. Somehow, they found a way to beat Cal State Fullerton 54-52, and although they will be getting more players back for this week's road trip, Saturday's win showed that even down half of their squad, this team can still pull it out.
It actually meant a lot to us because half of our team just wasn't there, so we had to just put out what we had. That week, we all worked hard, and we just really wanted to win. And we wanted to get the season started off right for our teammates that couldn't even play with us.
Getting that win and the nature in which we did against the well-coached, good Fullerton team, I think gives us a lot of confidence going on this road trip. Is something that we need. And we'll see, hopefully it kind of transfers as we are moving through this road trip and continues to give us confidence.
All right, folks, that's been your check-in on KITV4 Island Sports. I'm Keith DeMolder.
Okay, thanks, Keith. When we come back, Pete will have one last check of the weather.
Plus, a four-legged friend gets a second shot at life thanks to the late and great Betty White. You're watching KITV4 Island News at 6. We're right back.
The Hawaii County Department of Parks and Recreation announced today the Kohala pool has been closed due to equipment failure in the pump room. While the situation is being evaluated, swimmers may use the Kona Community Aquatic Center. The Kohala pool will be closed until further notice. The department apologizes for any inconvenience.
And Maui County announced a new registration process for riding Dabi shuttles in Wailuku. Riders no longer need to register online to ride. They can actually jump on any of the shuttles and then fill out a quick rider pass form available from the driver. This allows riders to receive a rider card on the spot. The shuttles run Monday through Friday, excluding holidays. Pete.
Here across Orlando, or rather as we take a look as we head back to our...
You know what? I think we're having some problems hearing you, Pete, but thanks for that. And we'll have...
Wait, we have Pete. I think we have Pete now.
I think we have it right now. It turns out...
Can we go back?
Work a lot better when you turn them on. Who would have known? But we have that mic fixed, and 74 degrees is our current temperature. Northeast winds coming in at 3. We'll take you out to South Point. Donna Gary taking a beautiful shot here of the setting sun. That's a nice shot. Just a few clouds out there. A couple of rain showers out on the windward side. Lanikai seeing some scattered showers. Waimanalo, some scattered rain as well. This is lifting off to the east. We had some rain here in town, but things have quieted down there. We'll take a wider view, and not much on the west side, not much here in town. A little bit of a wider view across the rest of the islands. Just a few isolated areas of rain for windward sections of Maui and into interior sections of the Big Island. For tonight, 67 degrees is our expected low temperature. As we head into the next few days, we are anticipating our winds staying light. For tomorrow, we'll start out sunny, and in the afternoon, some clouds and a few passing showers. 81 degrees. We'll keep our trades around. Unfortunately, really possibly all the way up until Wednesday or Thursday of next week. Ricky Miko.
All right, thank you, Pete. Well, Girl Scout cookie season is here.
And this year, you can not only get your favorites like Thin Mints, but you can also have a new cookie option. It's called Adventurefuls. The Girl Scout website describes the cookie as, quote, an indulgent brownie-inspired cookie with caramel-flavored cream and a hint of sea salt. Last year's new addition, the French toast-inspired Toastier, is also available.
Definitely gonna have to try that one.
A lost puppy who was rescued and renamed in honor of the late Betty White is about to get a new home.
Yeah, check it out. Just days after the legendary animal-loving actress died, this 6-month-old Maltese mix was found abandoned. The city's Humane Society opened its doors to Betty White, the dog that is, and gave her a haircut. Betty was then placed on the group's adoption list, and applications just came flooding in. Since Betty White's passing, there's been a push on social media calling for people to donate to animal shelters in White's honor. Oh, Betty White is adorable.
So in a way, she kind of lives on.
I know. Yes, I love it.
Well, thanks for being a part of Hawaii's only hour-long 6 p.m. newscast.
We'll be right back here at 10 o'clock tonight, and we hope to see you then. Aloha.
Have a great evening.